When we talk about training youth athletes for the YSAS certification, we're mainly talking about athletes who are 6 years old to about 13 years old. Within there's a couple of different categories. So you're typically going to break kids up into groups that are 6 to 9 years old, and then 10 to about 12 or sometimes 13 years old, and then people who are 13 and up are typically your more mature athletes. The 6 to 9 year olds, it's a very different training style. You're going to be more focused on guided exploration. You're going to be focused on general coordination, balance, not so much form-based coaching in this case. It's more about exploration and guided discovery. You want to guide the athletes through a process of learning about their bodies, about learning how they work, what it feels like to balance, what it feels like to move in different directions. So rather than teaching them specifically what to do and exactly how things are supposed to be, you're more guiding them through how to move their bodies. You're going to really want to always be conscious of how you're speaking to the young athletes as well, especially at the very youngest ages, 6 to 9 years old. You're going to want to praise them for things like their effort and how brave they are for doing something that they weren't sure about, or how hard they're trying, or that you see them focusing. You want to instill in them those general qualities of hard work and give them the picture of who they are. Telling them that they are perfect at something or excellent at one specific skill, it almost sets them up to feel like they have to now perform perfectly at everything, versus telling them that they're doing a good job on things, but that you're really noticing them working hard. That's going to set them up to feel like in their minds, I'm a hard worker, and that's what I do. That's going to give them more long-term benefits. And really, the whole model of this certification is the long-term athletic development model. So at the early ages, we're teaching them how they move and hopefully getting them to see themselves as a hard worker who's going to continue making progress for their whole life. When you get into slightly older ages, so you're looking at 10 to 12 or 13 years old, now you can start giving them a little bit more of the form-based coaching. So you can give them tips on running mechanics and agility mechanics. You can start timing them on some things, whereas for a 6 to 9 year old, you're probably not going to time them on a 40-yard dash. You may as part of your assessment, but that's not going to be the main focus. The main focus for them is how they're moving and how they're interacting with their bodies. And when you get a little bit older, now some of these kids are going to be more motivated by time and how well they're doing, how high they're jumping. They're going to start to know what they're capable of and want to have goals. But it's still not, you're still not driving things home. You're still having fun. You're still using games to play. Lots of variations of tag and gaga ball and knee slap games and things like that to keep them engaged. Now, within these age groups, you're going to see huge variations. So anyone that's worked with kids or has kids knows that between 6 and 9 years old, that's huge. A 6-year-old and a 9-year-old is going to have very different, not only physical abilities, but mental and focus abilities. Being able to pay attention and stand still and follow directions. They're very different. So you're going to want to kind of get a quick feel for how the kids are, so you know if you have to be way more engaging and have more fun, or if you're going to be able to give a little bit more instruction and let them work on their own. The same goes for the 10 to 12 year olds. Generally, they'll have a higher attention span, but you're going to have huge variances in ability levels. So you may have a 6 or 7 year old that comes in and can skip forwards, backwards, sideways, and can do all these things. And then you have a 12-year-old who comes in who you would think is going to be great at things, has good attention, but you ask them to skip backwards and maybe they've never done it before. You may have to really help them kind of learn how to use their bodies a little bit better. And so you can't have the same exact you can't have the same focus for every single kid that's in a group or in a large group on a team. You may have some individual variances. So what we're going to do is show you in the upcoming videos some ideas for you to take and use with different age groups. We're going to have 3 different age groups represented with 3 different ability levels, attention levels. So it'll be interesting for you for you to watch how they interact with me, how I interact with them a little bit, and then you're going to start kind of picking apart. Maybe it could have said this, or it could have done that. You'll see the way they react to different drills. Especially at the younger age, you're going to see lots of different reactions that you're going to have to be ready for. These are young kids. Sometimes people just decide, hey, I'm not great with the 6 to 8 or 6 to 9-year-old kids, so that may not be part of your business model. If it is going to be part of your business model, or you're working with teams, then you're going to want to be ready for just about anything and have lots of tricks up your sleeve so that you can engage them, bring them back, get their attention, and kind of plan things out so that it's fun and productive at the same time. That's sometimes the catch, is making a training session both fun and productive or purposeful. So hopefully the drills that you see here and some more in the accompanying written material will help you formulate your own plans and your own programming for working with youth athletes.